Hello, I'm Betsy Ross from Game Day Communications in Cincinnati, and welcome to this preview of the WBEC Catch the Wave Conference, September 21 through 24. Today, we are joined by Michelle Settecase, Senior Analyst, Ernst & Young. Also, Cathy Lindemann, President, Evolution Creative Solutions. Joe McClain, Director, Supplier Diversity, Eaton, and Derrick Hamilton, Manager, Supplier Diversity, NiSource. Thank you all for being with us.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We are leading up to the conference right around the corner, and so I want to get some personal reactions from you about your experiences at Catch the Wave. The one thing I want to talk about is your activity, your discussion that you think has made the biggest difference or you have learned the most from. What is the activity or the discussion that you look forward to the most at Catch the Wave? And Cathy, I'll start with you.
So, Betsy, thank you so much for having me on the call. I look forward to meeting with my sisterhood. From Catch the Wave day number one, all of the sisters and the men that love the sisters have always had such a great relationship. So thanks, guys, for being supportive. And one thing that I've learned through all of the technology is I think my thing I'm looking forward to is chatting with everyone, because it's nice to see like Michelle. And then I go over to the little chat and I say, hey, Michelle, it's so good to see you again. And just having those little side conversations, it makes me feel like I'm back at a dinner table and talking to the people that are sitting next to me.
Well, Michelle, she kind of introduced you into the conversation. So what do you get out of it?
Actually, I have to admit, this will be my first Catch the Wave. And so while I've attended National Conference and Summit and Salute, it's my first time for Catch the Wave. So I'm just excited to see everybody that I know and meet everyone that I haven't met yet. And then I think also just, yeah, as Cathy said, right, it's this incredible sense of support and belonging and we got this, girl, right? You know, I mean, it's one of those rare environments, right? That you can walk in, you can be who you are, you can be focused on doing the right thing for you and your company, and everybody is welcome on that. Right? You know, it's great.
Well, Derrick, how does NiSource use Catch the Wave conferences and conferences like that?
Well, I mean, I really enjoy it. I think it's one of the better conferences. So what I use it as a showcase event to bring, you know, my buyers or my leadership to kind of get a good feel for supplier diversity, specifically working with WBEs. And the agenda is so jam-packed. I mean, it's hard to pick one thing that's really good. It's like, from the opening reception all the way to the matchmaker at the end, it's like everything is so good in between, from best practices to the pitch competition. So, I mean, we're excited to be a part of the whole thing. So it's like anything, I can pick one event out of each one and everyone's excited to be there. So, and usually the pitch competition is pretty interesting just because it starts off as kind of a laissez-faire, kind of an easy thing, and then you see the competition pick up as the rounds go further and further along. So, and it's a great way to it's usually in the morning, so it's a great way to get the morning started. So for us, you know, I usually use this as a showcase event to kind of show what supplier diversity can do.
Mm-hmm. Joe, how about you?
Yeah, I think Derrick said it really well. I mean, showcase event would be how I would frame it. You know, ORV has always done a phenomenal job of, you know, having a group of volunteers that put in a lot of work to plan this event. And kudos to those individuals, because they have set a very high mark in terms of excellence. And from an Eaton perspective, I think there's always an opportunity for a company like ours to make sure people know that we're still very much engaged in the pursuit of including diverse suppliers. And also, you know, it's an opportunity for me to borrow shamelessly from some of my colleagues and to see some of the best diverse suppliers that you're going to see at an event like this.
You're not borrowing, you're sharing.
Yeah, I always
unless you're not giving them back or something. So
yeah.
I always say it's not plagiarism, it's best practices.
It's best practice. That's exactly.
So we're using it that way. We have a mixture of large companies and small companies here, and so everybody kind of approaches Catch the Wave at a different angle or from a different viewpoint. Joe, you're one of the people that people want to meet. How do you use that opportunity to get your message across and let people know what Eaton needs?
Sure. I think it's really important. I think you said it well. You know, Eaton is a large company. Some people recognize our name, our brand, and they're, you know, anxious to get in line to meet us. And I feel personally an obligation to both teach as well as to learn. And so every time I'm at an event like this, number one, I have to help that individual supplier understand how they can engage with business with Eaton, or if not Eaton, other companies that look like us. And then I also want to learn from them. You know, what are they doing that's, you know, changing the game for other customers? And so it's a two-way conversation. You know, I'm fortunate and grateful to work for a company that has brand that's recognized, and we certainly do believe in supplier diversity. But I think there's as much to be gained from those companies that are coming to the table in terms of the, you know, the women-owned businesses. So I think it's a two-way street.
Michelle, I saw you nodding in agreement there.
Well, my role's a little different. So I'm not on the supplier or what we now call ESG procurement team, but I work really closely with that group. And my focus is really on how do we support as EY, you know, the growth and development of women entrepreneurs and minority businesses. Because if we don't have this rich diversity, then, you know, we lose all kinds of things, and shame on us, right? I mean, the reality is there, whether that's innovation or better competition or, you know, the reinvestment that happens when, you know, when companies scale, right? Small companies scale, it's true. There's a lot of reinvestment back into those communities, whether it's women or minority or veterans or, you know, disabled or whatever else. And so we need that. We need that right now. And so my role is a little different, right? You know, as working on the program Women Fast Forward. So again, I'm not part of procurement, but my job is to make sure that everybody knows, right, that we are serious about this stuff. And I always come away with a stack of business cards, or I'm sure this time it'll be side chats, as Cathy mentioned earlier, right, you know, and lots of follow-up calls. And I think that's what it's about, right? Sometimes you can't have the deep conversation even in person, but tee up that longer conversation so that, you know, Joe, as you were talking about, you can have a teaching moment on both sides, right?
Absolutely.
You can give to get and give to give. And I think that's, to me, that's everything.
Yes. Totally
Derrick,
agree.
how do you showcase your message?
Well, I mean, for us, it's a little bit of a challenge because we're a utility, right? And I would say there's nothing sexy about utilities, right? So for us, you know, it's really about being involved. So making sure you're involved in various things. People see your face all the time. If nothing else, you may not know who I work for, but you know, hey, I see that guy all the time. So for us, you know, it's more of, you know, being involved and you know, really participating and not just showing up, but actually participating and taking the lead in some of the things that are happening. So for us, you know, it's a lot of that. And then, you know, the good thing is the community is so tight knit that usually, you know, you pass things off, like Joe just said, you know, you talk to your different counterparts, but also, you know, a lot of the WBEs are very encouraged and aggressive too. So they'll come up to you and they'll talk to you and everything else. So for us, it's just a matter of just showing up and being, you know, upfront so people can say, okay, NiSource does this or NiSource participates here. So they must be serious about what they're doing. So for us, that's what it's about. It's about showing up and having results that reflect what we've done in the past. So that's how we operate.
And Cathy, you're one of the businesses that will be coming up to a lot of these bigger companies. How do you use that time?
So Derrick stole my words. So I show up. You have to show up first off. So if you haven't registered, make sure you do register and show up. And you have to show up and not have another computer going out and doing your work on the side. You have to show up and be present while you're there. But I show up by knowing who I want to meet and knowing who can help me meet those people, and then just showing up real and being who I am and knowing that that's going to be who they're going to work with for the rest of their time.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we mentioned, there are so many sessions and so many activities going on through Catch the Wave. What do you think is the session that maybe people will get the most out of, or you personally get the most out of from pitch competition? Derrick mentioned the pitches, the matchmaker, the workshops. What do you think personally is a must-see and a must-do, whether you've been there for all 11 or whether this is your first time? Michelle, I know that this is your first time. You hadn't been to one of these before, but what do you think is so important, most important?
Well, hopefully I'll deliver my workshop without sticking my foot in my mouth. And so, that's my primary focus at the moment, but we're also, going to be involved in pitch, and we're trying to set up some matchmakers and some other things. But I always look at these opportunities really as, or these events, I shouldn't say, as, again, what are the one or two things that I need to accomplish? Do I need a matchmaker, right? Do I need to enter the pitch? Even if I've been around forever, right? Do I need to refresh my pitch? And, or do I just need to network? But if you come in with a single goal, I think that helps as opposed to trying to do everything. I know as a first timer, I'm feeling very overwhelmed in trying to decide, how do I get to all of these things? And things are simultaneous, and I can't, obviously when I'm speaking, I can't do something else. And so don't try to, but really focus a little bit on one or two things that you really want to accomplish over the couple of days. At least that's the advice I'm giving myself. I'm not sure if anybody else should follow that.
Joe, how about you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been a few years, and I think I love the pitch competition. And short story, I was a judge during the pitch competition for one of my first or second events I was at. I'm still involved with the WBE supplier who won that pitch competition. And she does a phenomenal job for our company. So, I hear you, Michelle. I think, you go in, you try to pace yourself, you try to make sure you're not overwhelmed. I've taught some workshops, and even in my experience, whether I'm sitting in a workshop or I'm facilitating, I learned so much, just preparing to teach the workshop. I remember in past years brought a different level of awareness to me around what a diverse supplier, woman-owned business might experience coming to work with Eaton. And so I had to go back and fix those things because, I don't want to be a person that doesn't take my own advice, right? So I think, I go back to the committee that worked so hard to put these events together, the volunteers that they do a phenomenal job. Keynote speakers, breakout sessions, matchmaker, pitch competition. I'm hitting everything simply because I don't think there's one thing that I've experienced that's been, that hasn't met my expectations. So I'm looking forward to the entire event.
Now, Derrick, you mentioned about the pitch competition earlier. What is it that you like about that, or what do you get out of that?
Well, like I said, I think the great thing about it is it's in the morning and it's kind of an energy event. So it's like when you first get there, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, you're eating your bagel or whatever, and you're just kind of going through the motions. You may be checking email, and then these ladies get up there, or gentlemen in some case, but get up there and they talk about their companies, and you see the passion. You see, you can feel it coming through their pitch. Some pitches are better than others, of course, but you can feel the passion. You can see what they do. And it's really a good commercial for their company, because at the end of the pitch competition, you may take notes and say, okay, I need to meet 2 or 3 people. Now, they may not want a pitch competition, but now they're on your radar in regards to supplies or services that they may have that, your company is looking for. So for me, it's really the energy. It's a great way to get the day started, but it also allows me to have some side conversations with some suppliers that I may not have had a chance to meet because we're not going to come across each other in Matchmaker or something like that. But I'm like, oh man, this is great. I met now 3 or 4 people, and I know what their company does because I'm listening to their pitch. So for me, that's the excitement part of it, is really the passion that comes around, especially entrepreneurism. You see that passion come out. So that's why I like the pitch competition.
Right. Well, Cathy, we started with you, so we will wrap up with you. What is the must see during Catch the Wave?
So I would say nobody's mentioned the showcase. So that's
Yeah.
always been my favorite at Catch the Wave, because I get to go around and I get to see what my fellow Weebies are doing and how they're promoting their business, and it gives me a chance to connect. I think it's kind of like a matchmaker, except it's all in a big room where everybody can go around and do a matchmaker, and so it's full of a lot of energy. And I know that they have a platform for their showcase, so I'm excited to see how the showcase works. And it's just a great time for the Weebies to stand up and show who they are.
Well, great advice, some great points from all of you. Thank you so much for your time today. Michelle, Cathy, Joe, Derrick, thanks so much, and we will see you at Catch the Wave.
Thank you.
Great. Thank
Have
you,
a great day.
Betsy.